So I just had an idea, and I figured, hey, why the hell not? Today, we're going to be talking about my video game backlog. And I'm just going to go game by game here, talk about maybe why it's my backlog, how excited I am to play it, stuff like that. We'll we'll just go in the order that the image is uploaded here. So we got Dave the Diver, and I'm gonna. I don't really. I'll sort these tiers out. It's not really like a. It's not really like a tier list. It's more like an organization. We'll get there. First up, Dave the Diver. Okay, I think I first heard about Dave the Diver because when it dropped, it was huge, and it was it was at Game Awards and all sorts of stuff, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, wow, that game looks really, really good, and it was probably an RT game video about it, alongside someone like getting all the achievements in it, like a video like that. Those videos are really big right now. I don't know if you've noticed that, but there's a big surge of I 100% this game and it drove me crazy, or getting all the achievements in X game was so fun. A lot of those videos going around right now, and they're doing really, really well. And honestly, I'm eating that shit up. They're big cause of me. Anyways, that's what I saw for Dave the Diver, and I looked at that and I was like, wow, that looks like a cute, fun game. It just looks like honest fun. I'm gonna try that one day. And I don't think I bought the game until it went on sale post Game Awards. I assume was when it would have went on sale for the first time or something. Anyways, I bought it on sale. I haven't played it yet, but it's been sitting there, and it's something that I think I can say. Looks like a simple, clean, and honest fun time. No, okay. It looks like simple, clean, and honest fun. I'll get to it when I feel particularly motivated. Don't hush. We don't talk about my spelling. Dave the Diver. Looks like simple and clean and honest fun. I'll get to it when I feel particularly motivated. I think that's about the best way I can describe that. I don't know if I have much to say about it really. It just looks like a good game, and I think from what I've seen, a lot of its praise is warranted. And I hope that when I try it myself, I enjoy it as much as seemingly lots of other people do. And maybe not. Next we have the Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. It beats me. I don't know. Klonoa. But same with Dave the Diver. I just heard people talking really good about it. And I really. What am I trying to say here? I saw a lot of people talking really good on it. It's a kind of like a traditional 3D platformer. It's in the same tier as Dave the Diver. I'll cut to the chase. It's the same tier as Dave the Diver. I just heard good about it. I kind of looked at a little bit of gameplay, and I was like, this looks like something I would sit down and I would enjoy. And I think it was on sale, and I was like, I'll buy it. I'll buy it because this game looks quality and looks like something I'd want to support and hope to see more of, even if I don't even play it. So I bought it, and I'm still waiting on to actually get around to it. But I don't feel pressured to. I wonder if I can pull it up right now. Oh my god, I hate the way my computer is formatted in OBS. Anyways, we can look at the side here. I've got my Steam my Steam library organized, and you can see at the very top, I have it organized, my chill backlog, you know, my completed games, my currently playing, play more, priority backlog. We'll get to that and weird other thing. Anyways, Klonoa it's in my chill backlog because, you know, kind of it is how it sounds, where I just don't feel particularly pressured to start it. I'm not like, I don't feel guilty that I bought it and I haven't played it yet. It's like, I'm glad to have it because I know when the day comes where I decide to play it, I'll like it. And all of what I just said there applies to Dave the Diver and whatever the hell else. Actually, that these might be the only two games in this tier, honestly. I think I can say more about every other game. But yeah, that's Dave the Diver and Klonoa to me. Is like, I bought them because I want to support that. They look like quality titles, and you know, I'll get around to it when I want to. Looks like next up we have Persona 5. Persona 5 Royal to be more specific, but it's Persona 5. It's Persona. Like, where do I begin with Persona, right? It's so... How do you describe Persona, man? It's Persona. It's huge now. It's like, it has its huge dedicated fan base, loves the games to death. I find that I end up in a lot of like, on like social media, or you know, like YouTube, a lot of Persona stuff goes into my feeds, even though I don't particularly interact with it, or hardly have played any. But that stuff usually comes to me anyways, and so part of me likes to feel like that's sort of indicative, like some sort of signal, like I would enjoy these games, right? And I was graciously gifted Persona 5 Royal on my Steam account by one of my lovely friends for my birthday. And so, my thing with Persona, well, I should give some extra context. I have played Persona 5 Royal on my my brother's PS5 up until like probably like halfway through the second palace, and then I forgot to keep playing. I enjoyed it. I had a great, wonderful time. I did make the mistake of starting the game on hard mode because I thought it would be funny and I kind of wanted a challenge. Unbeknownst to me, the game's already decently challenging on normal mode, and so I was making it really fucking hard on myself, and then I pussied out and changed it back to normal and started having way more fun. But yeah, I have a little bit of background experience with this game, but I haven't like sat down and beat it. I haven't beat it, or hell, even gotten like far into it at all, because that game's fucking long. And that's very like the Persona. This is going to be like the big Persona tier. Really really long, or not really long, let's say really big time commitment. Really big time commitment. If I'm playing this I can't. It's a real, I don't need the period, that's too serious. It's a very big time commitment. Like, it's a long game, and there's so much shit that you will miss on a first playthrough, where you'll kind of be motivated to start New Game Plus to cover some extra ground, right? And so like recently, not too long ago, I beat, excuse me, I just burped. Not too long ago, I beat the original Final Fantasy VII for the first time, which is also a decently long RPG. I think in my personal file, I have 60 hours or something in that ballpark, right? And in total, that game probably took me multiple months to beat, even though my total playtime in real life probably only spanned about like 3 weeks of me actually playing it. But the reason was, I think because it's another sort of big time commitment, although probably not as big as Persona. I'm not entirely sure on that. I can probably look that up on howlongtobeat.com. I'll flash whatever the results say on screen in a second. But what I'm trying to get at is that I played the first half of Final Fantasy VII, or, you know, like first half adjacent. I forget exactly when I stopped. Well, spoiler alert, I guess. Somewhere in there, I basically stopped playing the game for like 3 months. And this was already like my second attempt at buckling down and trying to actually complete the game. And I forget what exactly made me. I think I got busy, and there were just like other games that had come out that I started playing. Anyways, it was collecting dust for 3 months, and then I came back to it, and I buckled down, and I sat down and I beat it. Didn't let myself play any other games for a while, because I know if I got focused on anything else, it wouldn't happen. It would never happen. And I'm so glad I did that, because Final Fantasy VII is probably like one of my favorite games ever now. What a good fucking game that was. And if there's anyone confused why I was talking about how I beat the original Final Fantasy VII, but oh, it's right there. That's the remake. It's the remake, I promise. Yeah, and so I think it would be the same kind of thing with Persona, where I could probably buckle down for a good week or two, really, you know, put a decent dent in it, and then real life stuff will happen, or I'll just get interested in something else, and then it'll just kind of fucking like disappear. And so I that's kind of my mentality, where I have to be like, I kind of have to like put myself on a leash, like a ball and chain, to Persona until I can finish it. And it's something I really want to do one day, because it's one of the most like critically acclaimed RPGs. And I'm sure it lives up to the hype. I enjoyed the little bit I played years ago. So, you know, it's something I want to get to, but it's like daunting. It's sort of, it's scary, I guess, if that makes any sense. Anyways, next up we got triple whammy. I gotta put these in chronological release order, else it'll bother me. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. And where do I exactly begin on describing? Wind Waker, I played a decent amount of the HD remake when that initially came out way back when, and never beat it. That's why it's here. Twilight Princess, same deal. HD remake dropped. I played that when it came out. Never beat it. Skyward Sword, same deal. HD remake came out, or it wasn't even a remake. It was a remaster on the Switch. Remaster came out. I played a bit of it. Never finished it. I really like the Zelda games. I really, really do. Majora's Mask, one of my favorite games of all time. Promise you I've beaten that one. I've beaten Ocarina of Time. Breath of the Wild, I think it doesn't really count when in discussion for, like, you know, like these games and Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. It's too different, but I like the Zelda games, is what I'm getting at. And I have experience in the series. I just need to actually finish them. Which, I guess if I were going to make a tier to describe it, would be something along the lines of, like, started the journey, I guess, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Started the journey, never finished. Sure. I guess Persona falls into that category too, but you know what? I'll keep them separate, just for simplicity's sake. I started the journey, I never finished the marathon, and that's with all three of these games. Although, a big difference from now versus when I was playing all those games, when they, you know, when I tried playing them the first time, is that I own Wind Waker on my GameCube now. I didn't even own a GameCube when I played the HD remake, and I think it's pretty agreed on that the HD remake is actually like superior, which I think is the opposite with Twilight Princess. Anyways, the HD remake is pretty unanimously praised. Although I think I'd want to play the GameCube original just because GameCube is my favorite console ever, and you know I own it, so why the hell not? Twilight Princess I actually don't own on the GameCube. I really, really want to, and I've had plenty of opportunities to buy it. It's not particularly hard to find. It's more so it's just one of the most expensive GameCube games. I think like, well, that's not entirely true. There's some really ridiculous ones like Cubivore, Alien Hominid, right? But I'm thinking more along the lines of like the Nintendo first party games. Like I think the most expensive ones are Twilight Princess, Thousand Year Door, Mario Party 6 is pretty expensive when I bought that. I do own that one. I do also own Thousand Year Door. But usually those are like the highest of the few. Anyways, yeah, I want to play that on GameCube Original as well. I just need to buy it. Worst case scenario, I can play the HD remake. I can also emulate, I guess. But since I, buy and collect retro game shit, I kind of avoid emulation. Not because I disapprove of it in any way. I fucking love emulation. If you can emulate, do it. Like, it's just the best answer. It's just sort of like a me. It just kind of like conflicts with my hobby, I guess, because I always kind of feel like a little bit of guilt when I emulate because it's like, man, I literally have the real game right over there. What am I doing? But whatever. Whatever. Right. I want to play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on GameCube Original Console when I get to that, and I know I'll enjoy those games and have fun with them. I'm like positive I will. Aesthetically, probably like the two best ones on top of that. And then Skyward Sword, I just need to pick back up on my Switch because I don't own it on the Wii. I'd rather play it on the Switch, I think. But I think I beat the first dungeon and just stopped there. I don't remember why. I don't remember ever getting too into it though. Oh fuck, Jesus! The drink that I just opened spilt everywhere. Oh fuck me. Sorry. I don't remember getting like super into Skyward Sword, and I don't know if that was. I mean, it's obviously a me thing. That's what I was about to say. It's obviously a me thing, but I feel like if I just tried a little harder, I could sink my teeth into it, and it's something I want to do because I want to be able to say that I've played like almost all the mainline Zelda games. Anyways, that's that. You know what? I'm not going to talk about Metroid Dread right now. We'll get back to that because I'm gonna move Thousand Year Door. I'm gonna bunch it up with like these four games: Kirby, Galaxy, Dread, and Thousand Year Door. Those are all falling under the same umbrella there, and so we'll address those as a group. Metroid Prime is also actually, I don't need to make it a tier for this. It's also I started the journey, but I never finished the marathon. I got decently far into that game when it dropped. What an interesting release because if I remember correctly, it was announced and released in the same Nintendo Direct, I believe. Which is crazy. That's what a huge fucking reveal, right? And so, I had played Metroid Dread, probably like the first Metroid game that I pick. Oh man, you know what I just realized? Why don't I have Super Metroid on here? I gotta amend that. One moment. Okay, I fix it. It's problem solved. Which I guess Super Metroid also falls into this category too, now that I brought it in. Yeah, Metroid Dread was the first and only Metroid game that I've started and finished. I picked up Super Metroid, got, I think, decently far into it. I think I'm like my first ever save file, or first ever attempt at playing the game. I got up to the point where you're probably expected to check out the wrecked ship and get like the gravity suit and fight Phantoon. but I think I got stuck and didn't do that and stopped playing. And then I watch I watch an insane amount of Oats and Goats on YouTube. Great content creator. Pretty much large majority is like just high level Super Metroid speed running or gameplay, and I watch a ton of that. And just through exposure, you kind of pick things up. So probably a few years later, I was just over at one of my best friend's houses. One of my best friend Ari's houses. Shout out Ari if you're here. And it was, I think, what were we doing that day? I think it was just the morning after we had like a party, and I stayed the night at his place. Woke up in the morning, and just kind of, it was just me and him, and we were just hanging out at that point. I think we like did a grocery run. Oh, I think it was also during. I think yeah. No, okay, I think I'm remembering more. Anyways, we did a grocery run. We got back to his place. Had just killed a bit of time. I booted up Super Metroid on his Switch, and just like I think like through watching like Oats and Goats gameplay, I was able to play the game surprisingly well for my like idea of myself. I think I ended up getting to Kraid and beating him within like an hour ish, which is impressive to me. And like picking up as many items as many item locations as I remembered on the way, like doing a bomb jump to get that one E-tank and shit like that. Anyways, it was fun, and it's a game that I really do want to finish because it's timeless. It's such a good fucking game. Metroid Prime. That's how this started. Metroid Prime. It was on the Direct, dropped immediately after. If I'm not wrong about that, I might be. It dropped immediately after, and I was so in love with Metroid Dread that after playing Metroid Dread, that I was like, oh my god, I gotta play this game. I also own Metroid Prime on my GameCube, and I started it there. And then the remake dropped not long after, and I was like, well, I might as well just play the remake. I like the original on GameCube enough to want to buy the remake anyways. So I bought the remake, and I played through. I'd be willing to wager I got decently far in that game, probably halfway or a little over halfway. I don't remember exactly where I ended off, but anyways, it's just kind of, it's like the tier says, I started the journey, never finished a marathon. I enjoyed every little second that I played a Metroid Prime. That game is awesome. I think the only part that I think there were 2 moments where I got stuck just because I wasn't sure where to go with like what the items I had, and after like probably, I don't know, an hour of looking on my own, I just sucked it up and searched up, and I was like, man, now I feel stupid. But that's like my biggest complaint, right? Otherwise, like, super fun game that I just need to get around to finishing. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. Is there anything else that I started the journey and never finished the marathon on, just so we can get over with this tier? No, I think we can safely move on. Paper Mario. How do I describe Paper Mario? So, okay, for context, I guess. I just burped again. For context, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is probably in like my top 5 games, maybe. I don't even know the ranking there. That's another thing I want to do. I want to do like a top 50 games. Completely stolen idea, by the way. Not this though. This is an original idea I just had at 1 a.m. or whenever 24 minutes ago was to this point. If that, whatever. Okay, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, one of my favorite games of all time. I played it start to finish and loved it. I loved every second of it. And so obviously by extension, it's like, man, I want to play Paper Mario now really bad, because I think those games are a very comparable quality. Problem was, I think at the time, I didn't have an N64, I didn't own the game, and admittedly, N64 emulation sucks. Nor did I didn't have a proper PC, so like my shitty Chromebook couldn't emulate that game. But now, what's this whack ass song that's playing? I don't like this one. Give me different music, please. Sure. Anyways, where was I? Oh God, where was I? Right. Okay. So then I got my hands on an N64 and got my hands on Paper Mario, and it's just kind of been sitting there. It's something I really do want to play desperately, so badly. There's just other games that I am going to get to first, and then I'll play Paper Mario. And I think that in and of itself is a good way to describe the tier that I think it belongs in. Other games that will get priority, but this will come after. Yeah, Paper Mario. Other games that will get priority, but this will come right after. It's guaranteed fun. I don't really like. I have shockingly little to say, knowing how much I love Thousand Year Door. Because knowing how much I love Thousand Year Door, I know how much I'm going to love actually sitting down and playing Paper Mario. And I feel like I'm talking about it in a way where it's like I'm spoiler free on fucking Paper Mario. I'm not. I'm really not. I know lots, so much, but still, like, it's fun no matter what. Okay, moving on. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I've never played a proper Metal Gear Solid game before. I've played Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance. I know that doesn't really count. Good game, though. I enjoy that game. That game's fun. I think I'd like it a lot more if I went back and replayed it, especially after I've been playing the Devil May Cry games. We'll get to that. But Metal Gear Solid 3, man, that game. I watched some videos about it. I think some like challenge videos. I think there was this one that I saw. What was it? It was like, can I beat the Metal Gear Solid franchise before the fucking one of the bosses in Metal Gear Solid 3 dies in 6 days? I'll show that video on screen or like link it around. Good video. Point is, I recently got my hands on a PS2, like very recently. Well, it's a bit of an unfortunate tale, but I'll tell it in order. I got my hands on a PS3 for my birthday. PS2, sorry. Got my hands on a PS2 for my birthday, and I had no games for it, or a memory card or like an official controller. So there were a few things I needed to grab. So I go to my local retro game store and, peruse, and I end up buying the first 3 Devil May Cry games. That was not English. I buy the first 3 Devil May Cry games, and they're only $30 total. 10 for each. And I was under budget, and I was like, well, shit, what else do I pick up? And boom, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater was right there for $40, and I'm like, sure, why not? I'll grab that too. And so, alongside Devil May Cry 3, I wanted to play both of those games on my original PS2, because I had already played Devil May Cry 1 on my PC before I had the PS2, and honestly, I just don't want to play Devil May Cry 2. That game, I just hear the horror stories, and I value my health, my mental health over anything else. I don't care if I'm a pussy for skipping it. Anyway, so I really wanted to play Devil May Cry 3 and Metal Gear Solid 3 on my PS2 hardware, but when I go to start playing Devil May Cry 3, it just stops working. And I'm not exactly sure why, and I do a lot of troubleshooting, and I come to the conclusion it might be the AV cables. So I ordered some new ones on Amazon. Those came in recently, and it didn't solve the problem. So I think the issue is within the PS2, which is the worst outcome. So unfortunately, due to horrible circumstance, I just straight up cannot play Metal Gear Solid 3. I play Devil May Cry 3 because that's got hella ports. But I don't think Metal Gear Solid 3 has a lot of great ports, you know? At least that's what I've heard, that like the OG Metal Gear Solid games are kind of iffy on good ports. So it's kind of in a similar vein to Paper Mario, where other games will get the priority, but you know, Metal Gear will happen as soon as I'm able to play it, rather than just like me not getting to it yet. I literally just can't play it at the moment. When I can, I'm there. I'm seated. I'm ready to ball. But a little unfortunate the way it worked out. Ooh, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Now, I played, well, you know, I own the Ace Attorney trilogy, like remake-ish. I own that on Steam, and I played the first game entirely on Discord, streaming to my friends, voice acting the characters. And, you know, I did a similar thing with the second game, and sometimes I'd be on Discord, sometimes I'd just be recording and uploading those videos. But no, not Devil May Cry. Sorry, I just got a brief glance at them and started tweaking. I still have yet to play Trials and Tribulations, which I mean, I'll admit I'm not blind on Ace Attorney and stuff. I watched all of RT Games, you know, like videos and VODs. From when he did the same thing, and then I just made me want to play them myself and buy them and support the franchise because I like it. And you know, I played the first two games, and they're still fun to play even when you know what's happening. And in some cases, it's actually more entertaining because there'll be like little foreshadowing bits that you'd pick up on, and it's cool. But anyways, I still need to play Trials and Tribulations, and that's it's kind of weird where it's the one I'm most excited to play, yet I'm holding it off the longest. And I think that's just partially because I still want to do it on Discord with my friends, voice acting the characters so that they can experience it too, because that honestly, like, that's some of my fondest memories that I have. Just playing games is just doing that shit with Ace Attorney, and I want to do it again. And Trials and Tribulations has some of my favorite cases. I mean, it has my favorite prosecutor. Prosecutor Gatto. Whoa, what a man. So yeah, I really do want to get to it. I think it's in the same category as Paper Mario, Metal Gear Solid, where it's just I'm playing other things right now, but like once those other things are out of the way, the likelihood that I will play it next increases more and more. Penny's Big Breakaway. Another 3D platformer. This one's super recent. Made by the Sonic Mania team. Like T-Lopes on the soundtrack. It's like a dream, kind of like a little dream team, you know. Yeah, when that game got announced, I was so hyped. It looked so good. And then it released, and I bought it I pretty much bought it immediately because it was another thing where I knew I wasn't going to play it right away. However, I wanted to buy it when it was fresh to like support the team and show that this is a game that I think deserves to be cared about and, you know, like supported. So it's been sitting in my Steam library for a long time, and not too long ago I played the first like 2 or 3 levels just to finally be like, hey, why not? Let's check it out. And yeah, it's a good game. I literally just need to play more of it. I guess that's the same as started the journey, never finished the marathon. Let's say got a taste. Ready for we'll say got a taste and I want more. You know, that's just a me thing. I just got to do it. The movement is fun, the aesthetics are fun, the soundtrack is great. Like everything about that game is awesome. Gotta taste. Hold on, I'll elaborate. Gotta taste. Want more? I'm lazy. That's the best way I can describe it, because I'm just lazy about getting to the games that I want to play. But yeah, no, like I played it for 20 minutes, enjoyed what I played, haven't gone back to it yet, and I will really soon. I promise. It's in my currently playing tab in my Steam library. Like it's always looking me in the eyes, and I'm starting to feel a little guilty. And that's when I play the games the most. When I feel guilty, I haven't played them. And I know Final Fantasy VII Remake is next, but honestly, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is in the exact same tier. I'm not gonna waste the time there. I also played like 30 minutes of that. I downloaded mods and shit because there's really cool mods for that game, and I'm gonna play through the main campaign and then fuck around with mods ideally. But yeah, it's like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is a game that like oozes style, which it's very like it's a very inspired style, but it still manages to make it feel unique to it and fresh. And the movement, dude, just moving in that game, doing literally anything in that game feels smooth as butter. It feels like you're constantly being like given praise for doing anything. Like you just feel like you're doing a good job when you're just fucking skating around. You don't even be doing tricks. It's like a satisfying, lovely game, and I need to play more of it. I need to really appreciate it. I'm just a lazy bastard. That's all. It's just what it is. I'm a lazy bastard. But it's a game I think I could recommend to fucking anybody. I feel like everybody can enjoy that game. Final Fantasy VII Remake. As I said earlier, I beat the original Final Fantasy VII, and so naturally it's just kind of like, well, now I want to try the remake. I want to see what they did. You know, the sequel to the remake, Rebirth, released back in February. So it's like I gotta tap the fuck in. I gotta know what the hype's about. I gotta be there. I think what I'm most excited for in like playing the remake is just kind of like seeing the coolest moments in the original, which were already like super cool and cinematic, but just seeing that, you know, action taken to a new level because of, you know, like obviously it's a newer game and graphics are more capable, and you can do more elaborate set pieces, more elaborate movement and shit. Like I think it'll just feel so fucking cool. So cool. I don't really know how to categorize it though. I honestly, you know, I think maybe it belongs with Dave the Diver and Klonoa. Although I don't know if I'd call it simple, clean, and honest fun, because it's fucking, you know, high pay. It's still simple. I guess it's still simple, clean, and honest fun. Maybe I'll just simplify it to like looks like fun. I'll get to it when I feel particularly motivated. Final Fantasy VII OG is still like fresh off the burner for me, so I'm not, you know, I'm not itching to jump back in and you know, dip my toes back into Final Fantasy VII universe and let's do it again. I'll get to that when I'm ready to, when like some kind of hype cycle starts over the remakes again, or just something that makes me particularly motivated. Whatever, you know, it's as the tier says. When I get the urge, I'll do it. Devil May Cry 4. I was debating starting that game before recording this. And then I was like, what if I recorded a game? What if I recorded a thing about my backlog? So I guess I have Devil May Cry 4 to think about this. I'll I'll cut the bullshit on this one. Let's make it this color. So as you can see in the tier below, other games that will get priority, but this will come after. Yeah, these are the other games. Both of them. I played Devil May Cry 1 Skip 2, as I said, and I pretty much just finished Devil May Cry 3 a few days ago. And I'm fucking, like, in love. I am so fucking obsessed with the Devil May Cry games right now. I honestly am more shocked at myself for not discovering them sooner. Like, they're just so like, they speak to me on a level, on a level I don't really know how to describe. I think what gets me the most is, outside of the gameplay, like every cutscene, and like Dante himself, or a lot of the other characters, fucking like Virgil and shit, just they ooze swag. And in the cutscenes, they do ridiculous, over the top action that they take completely. I don't know if I should say they take it completely seriously, but they take it serious enough that you buy it, but you also enjoy it on like a this is silly level, right? You enjoy it in both ways at the same time. It's not something I want to make fun of because I think it's ridiculous and stupid goofy. It's something I want to make fun of because it's like, how did they make that cool? How did they make Dante in Devil May Cry 3 whipping a motorcycle around at random enemies look fucking awesome? Or him, running down a tower while shooting his guns Mach 10. How did they make that feel awesome when in concept I feel like that should be silly? It's some like magic balance that you very rarely see. And then of course, obviously, the actual gameplay, so fucking satisfying. I'm mostly talking about Devil May Cry 3 here because that game is so good. Devil May Cry 1 is also fine. It's a good game, but Devil May Cry 3 just takes Devil May Cry 1 and makes it 10 billion times better. So, but yeah, just fucking playing the game feels so good. And they're hard games, but they're never the difficulty doesn't deter you from wanting to play. It honestly is more of a motivating factor, to be honest. In the final boss of Devil May Cry 3, the face-off against Virgil, that shit was kicking my ass, dude. Beating me relentlessly. But not once did I think, I'll come back to this tomorrow. I'll do this another time. I don't feel like doing this right now. No, dude. I sat there for, not a minute, like, not that long. But I sat there and I was like, I am not done until I beat this. And that's exactly what I did. And I had fun. Beating it felt great, and it's one of the best boss fights that I feel like is around in gaming. It's just special. Like I don't really, I just appreciate it. It's a very recent kind of focus for me, a very recent series that I've picked up, but I've fallen in love with it so fast. So yeah, I'm gonna start playing Devil May Cry 4 soon, I imagine, and then naturally I'll play Devil May Cry 5 after that. And Devil May Cry 5 is what made me want to play the series in the first place, because that game has been critically acclaimed since it released, and I figured, well damn, let's do it. Let's see what the hype is about. And my god, I'm so glad I did that. It was worth it. Some of my favorite games, I can tell. Like, I will never I just feel like I know after playing these games, they will always be on rotation. I will always be in the mood to play Devil May Cry. So that's what has me hooked right now. So once I get through those, then I'll start playing some of this other shit. Resident Evil 4. Ooh, how do I categorize this? Okay, another thing. So for context, Resident Evil 4 Remake is one of my favorite games of all time. I've never played the OG to completion. I own it on GameCube and stuff. Haven't completed it, but when the remake dropped, I was aware of... Remake was also my first Resident Evil game, period, and now I'm really into the series, although I need to actually play more of the games. I want to. I'll get to them when I buy them and own them and shit. Anyways, remake came out, and I was like, this game looks awesome. And I was aware, like, who isn't aware of Resident Evil 4 and everything in that? And the remake came out, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. And I fell in love. I have over 100 hours in that game. I will replay its campaign like once a month. It's so good. It's so good. So naturally, I want to go back and I want to play the OG, because you know that game. I've played probably similar. Maybe it goes in here, but I feel like it's a little. I feel like it needs a little more than just got a taste, want more, because there's more. Oh no, I did not want to change the color of that one. I feel like there's more for me to say. Got a taste, want more. However, I'm lazy. Confident. I'll love it. That's the same shit. Maybe. Hold on. I think I can get it. Sure. Sure. Yeah, I just gotta play it. I know I'll like it. It's Resident Evil 4. Who fucking doesn't like it? Shit's sick. Tekken 8. I've owned for a while, and I guess you can kind of. You might be wondering, like, well, that's a fighting game. How do you complete a fighting game? And I'm on your side there. There's not really necessarily a way for me to complete a fighting game. More so, I have Tekken 8 on here because it's just a game that I want to play more. You know, it's a game that I want to really sink my teeth into. I want to get good at Tekken 8 because Tekken 8's my first Tekken game, period, and upon playing it, I was so shocked at how much I enjoyed it, and I feel like I'm pretty good at picking up on it. I feel like I've picked up on it decently fast. Not to imply that I'm good or anything. I'm really not, but that's why it's here. I want to sink my teeth in it. I want to grind Tekken 8, and I want to get really, really, really good at the game. I want to grind ranked. I want to get to... maybe that's my goal. I want to be like a purple rank or something along those lines. Let's see. I'll add Tekken in this row and make it... it'll be a deep blue, but that doesn't mesh with the gradient well. Hold on. I'll just slot it below Resident Evil 4 for sure. And I'll make that the deep blue. Get on the grind set. Get on the grind set, pussy. Yeah. I just want to get good at Tekken 8. I want to get to like purple ranked in online ranked, and I just want to be able to like tell people that I'm good at Tekken. You know what I mean? But even as a non-skilled player, even as someone who's not good at the game, it's still fun as fuck. And maybe that will decline as I try and play more online matches. But as it is right now, I fucking love Tekken 8. And it's something I really want to play more. Because it was also $100 and a lot of money. And I don't want to feel like I wasted that money. But, you know, it's neither here nor there. I just want to play more of it. And I kind of regret leaving these four for last. Because they don't... whoops. They don't really count. I'll explain. Where do I make the tier? Because they're all going to be in the same tier. I think I'll slot them below here. No, that was above. Whoops. Goodbye. Add a row below. And that's yellow into green. I'll make it like a Yeah, that works. Whoops. No. Do not take a screenshot. What the? No! What happened? No, I'm gonna be so sad. Did I just accidentally close the tab? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, no. Oh my god, I'm devastated. I'm truly, truly devastated. Please tell me. I think I go into my fucking history real quick. Oh no. No, I lost it. Shit. God damn, I'll be right back. I'm back. I had to remake it. I just looked at the footage and rewrote shit. Anyways. Oh, I forgot Skyward Sword there. I accidentally I made Persona twice. Whatever. Anyways, last 4 games: Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Super Mario Galaxy, Metroid Dread, and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Remake or original, you can consider it whatever you want. I'll probably be playing the remake at some point, so we'll just say it's that. But it's still Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I named the tier already. I finished them a long time ago. These are games that I've completed, but I think it's time for me to play them again because they are really good games, and they're games I enjoy playing. They're games I want to always kind of have the experience fresh in my brain because they're that good. Especially like Metroid Dread. Played start to finish multiple times because it's a really good speedrunning game. Like it's like once you start learning it, you can beat that game so fast. And that's what I did when it came out. I just played it over and over and over again, getting better and better. I'd watch speedruns and, look at skips and tricks and all that stuff. And it's just like addicting. It's so addicting. And that's the way I feel about like Resident Evil 4 remake too, and those games are they just do something to me, man. They just take me over. But even outside of that, just playing it 100% completion, playing it for the first time, so enjoyable. The way it moves, the way it's designed. There's a feeling that you have when you play a Metroid game or any Metroidvania at that, like Hollow Knight, where you kind of, I don't know, maybe this is just a me thing, but once you get familiar with the game, you kind of get in the head of how it's designed. And, you'll get an item and you'll immediately know, I can go here, I can go there, I can go here, I can take this all the way back there. And I bet you they want me to go back there. And I mean, maybe that's not getting in the head of the design. That's falling for the design. That's what it wants you to think. That's what it wants you to feel. It feels good to know that, right? But my point is, it does that so well. It makes you feel like a fucking genius for remembering little details from different areas that you can go back to and use your new shit on. It's so nice. It's so nice. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, first 3D Kirby game, I remember being so fascinated by it when it came out because that's a big leap. That's a big deal. And I bought it when it came out. I got COVID. I found out that I had COVID the same day, so I quite literally had like 2 weeks to just play the game, and so I fucking did. And my god, what a good game, dude. I don't really like. The game is so good, it's hard to praise it because you could name any aspect about the game, and all I can really tell you is, yeah, it's good. Like, they did a good job there. They did a good job at literally, it's one of the most like polished games I've ever played. It just oozes quality from every single pore on its face, if that makes sense. And I haven't replayed it since it came out back in what would that have been, 2021, 2022? I feel like I gotta look this up just so I don't sound like an idiot. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. came out 2022, March 25th. So over 2 years ago now. And yeah, I think it's long overdue for me to revisit. Same with Super Mario Galaxy. I prefer Super Mario Galaxy 2. I think that's the better game, but it's comparing like a 10 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. But yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, another amazing game. I 100% complete it for the first time when the Super Mario All-Stars collection came out. Oh my god, that was March 31st, 2021, wasn't it? It totally was. Oh my god, when the fuck? I lied blatant. That was not March 31st, 2021. That was September 18th, 2020. 2020?! My god, that was longer than I thought. So the last time I played Mario Galaxy was 4 years ago. Or almost 4 years ago. Either way, I think it's time for me to play it again. Because it's not a game that ever feels worse on replays. It's the same good game you played the last time. And I think by extension I could say it's time for me to replay Mario Galaxy 2. But I guess if I had to ramble about both the games it would be a little redundant. But either way, they're both amazing games. Kind of the same deal as Kirby, where it's hard to be passionately specific because everything is good. You know, I don't really know what angle to tackle it at because I kind of just be saying the same things about different topics. And Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, I played that also, I think back 2021, and yeah, very quickly became one of my favorite games of all time. Hard to even remember what compares. It was that good. And the remake is coming out at the time that I'm recording this. The remake comes out in 2 days, and I'm so fucking excited for it because it's working off the foundation of an already incredible game and is going to improve and make the experience better. Like it's a again, just kind of like instant fun button, right? Like how am I not going to enjoy that? So I'm really excited to experience the game again with the remake. I think that will be just probably one of like the most enjoyable experiences for me. Yeah, again, kind of wish I didn't end on these ones because they're the least interesting to talk about, I think. I probably should have ended with like these ones. I should have worked like bottom up, but I didn't really think about it that hard. Either way, that's it for me. This is it. This is the list. I got Get Back on the Grind Set, Tekken 8, Gotta Taste, Want More, I'm Lazy, but a little more serious. Ones I want to revisit. Ones that I should go back and actually finish. The Persona 5 tier. It's kind of funny that this is the only one. Oh, it's not the only one by itself. I lied. And yeah, whatever. The Persona 5 tier. Looks fun. I'll get to it when I feel particularly motivated. Other games have priority, but these come right after. And then Devil May Cry. The Devil May Cry tier. Yeah, that's I guess that's a little shred of light into what's happening in my little gaming backlog space right now. So there's a little glimpse into my hellish nightmare that is playing the Devil May Cry game. That's not a hellish nightmare. I'm having so much fun. Whatever. I'm rambling. Bye.